Stop using ChatGPT and AI like a toy. This is part 3 of 3 advanced ChatGPT tasks. Hi, guys. Mike Ferrante here with LPT Realty, broker associate here in Northeast Ohio. I run the Mike team, and we are agents serving basically all of Ohio. If you have a real estate need from Central Ohio, Columbus, Mount Vernon, Akron, Canton, Cleveland, Northeast Ohio, hit me up. Hashtag HMU, as the kids say. Go to 21mike.com, click that button at the top, schedule an appointment with me or someone on the team. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, smash that subscribe button, follow us on social media. And 21 Mike Team is the Facebook page. Let's get rolling. I have 3 sessions of ChatGPT. If you missed the first 2, go back and watch them on YouTube. I started with the basics, how to log in, how to create an account, how to customize it so that it sounds like you when it talks, when it writes. Customization is the key. So if you've seen people, agents using ChatGPT to write listing descriptions, have you noticed they all look the same? They all read with that flowery language, the long M dashes, explore a new neighborhood. The verbiage that it uses is so cheesy, corny, flowery. You can tell when it's AI. The way you avoid that is customization. So that's session 1. Session 2, we got into some intermediate tasks. You can see it there. Today, I'm going to show you and narrate how I'm using ChatGPT for some much higher level tasks. So let me get in here. I have something loaded up. So one of the things I did for my clients, I do every year, is a 10-year market study. And I did it this year, and it took me about 4.5 hours. And then I realized ChatGPT could do this for me. So here's the prompt that I used. Okay, I got this kind of from my coach, my Tom Ferry coach, and kind of I customized it. Basically, what I said is 10-year market study. Please take all the graphs that I provide, and I'll show you what those look like here in a sec, and create a 10-year market study for single-family homes and condos for Northeast Ohio, Cuyahoga County. I'll give you my logos and websites to draw upon info for my team and me. Here's my website. I gave it the website. Here's my Zillow profile. It already knows all about me. It says, I say, you know all about me, LPT Realty, Mike Team Leader, top 10 mega teams in Ohio, real trends verified, wanting to come across as the authority in the local market. Take this info and create a report that we call the 10-year real estate market study and forecast for Greater Cleveland, January 2026 by Mike Ferrante, broker associate, blah, blah, blah. Include fair housing and realtor logos strategically. Include a title page about my team and me. 2 to 4 pages with info on single family and condos, trends and data over the last 10 years, focusing on what's happening now. Every page should include 2 to 3 pieces of insight pulled from the data. Next, the same for luxury, and then the same for multifamily. Finally, a last page which summarizes all the trends, gives a forecast, assume current trends will continue with interest rates dropping a bit, which could stimulate activity slightly, and a call to action asking to contact my team for more information, 21mike.com. Use lots of visuals so the info is easy to understand. That was a mouthful, right? But guys, this is what I'm talking about. Treat chat like an employee, a high level employee too, a management level employee. So up here, you see I've already attached all the graphs, which I pulled from the MLS. This is the data, last 10 years of each section that I talked about. I've got singles and condos, multifamily, luxury, in our market, 600,000 and up. I've got listings, sale price, all the different stats that you would want to see in a 10-year market study. So those graphs are all here. This is just graphs, just pulled from the MLS. Now I'm going to give it some other stuff to work on. Notice this is kind of like taking this high-level marketing employee and saying, I need you to do this project for me. Here's all the data. Also, here's some sources for other data. Go pull all the data together, put me together a draft, and I want it to be about this many pages, just like I instructed it. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and give it some other raw data to use, some pictures and graphics. I'm going to give it my logos. And so literally, I'm just throwing all this stuff in a pot in the prompt. And I'm going to show you at the end here what it's going to come up with. I'm going to have it work while we're on the session today so that you can see it working. And in the meantime, I'm going to go back. I'm going to do another project. So while it's working, I'll show it to you just for a second, and then we'll come back. So I'm going to give it my, let's see, QR code for the website. There it is. Let's see what else. I'm going to give it some uh, other logos and things to work with. Let's see. Uh, let's give it this image. So an image of Cleveland with our top workplaces award. I'm going to give it some company logos and signs. So let's go back and give it that. There, let's give it that sign. Let's give it a team logo. Oh, I also want to give it the fair housing and realtor logos. There's fair housing, there's realtor. Let's give it a picture of me. Oh, cannot add more files. I've reached my limit. So I'm going to say, do you understand? Wait before proceeding so I can give you a few more images. By the way, for this type of task, I have it in thinking mode. Remember, you have your little drop down here. You can let it automatically decide how long to think. You can say, hey, just I'm doing simple stuff. Give me instant answers. Or you can put it in thinking mode so that it knows it wants you to do, you want it to do deep research. Now you can see it's saying, yes, I understand. And it's giving me a summary of what it just analyzed. Now I'm going to drop some more images. Let's give it a couple photos. Let's give it that photo. And let's see if we have, you know what? That'll be enough. I'm saying proceed, show me a draft. Okay, I'm going to show you this just for a second, and then I'm going to show you some output that I got on some other high-level tasks that I had it do. What's kind of fun to watch is you can see it says thinking right here, and usually it'll show you what it's thinking about, and you can kind of get the gist of the process that ChatGPT is going through. It says it needs to create a PDF. It's looking for visual insights. It's structuring the sections like single family. It's including logos. It's going through the instructions and you can actually watch it think. Okay, so I'm going to come back to this in just a second, but I'm going to show you in the meantime another task or two that I had it do. Here it is. Okay, so there's the prompt for the 10-year market study. The one I want to show you is listing appointment deep research. So when you have a listing appointment, what do you have to do? You've got to run comps. You've got to do research on the property. Wouldn't it be great if you could do research on the owners of the property, the history of the property? Wouldn't it be really cool if you could run a disc profile on the owners of the property? What I mean by that is figure out what kind of people they are. how they score on a personality test, how you could possibly interact with them better. Are they analyticals? Are they dominant? Are they influencers? Or are they steady? Are they S's and just want to not rock the boat and don't be pushed too hard? So that's two different tasks. First, I'm going to show you listing appointment deep research. Now, this is a prompt from AIM, the AI Academy with Jason Pantana. He gave us a prompt, very detailed, all about how to prepare for a listing appointment. So it's giving, remember from session one, rise, you give it a role, instructions, you give it the structure you want, and then the E is the examples of the output. Okay, so we give it a role. You're a research analyst. You're tasked with preparing a comprehensive briefing for my upcoming listing appointment. Research the property and owners to come up with a well-organized dossier. Here's the inputs. I'm going to give you the names and the property. Here's the scope of the research I want you to do. Non-invasive, avoid personal details. And here's the output format. Okay, and Jason's prompt is amazing. It goes on and on. It's pages long. Now, I'm going to show you one that I did before I knew about Jason's. I basically said, here's an address. I want you to research it. I have a listing appointment tomorrow. Tell me the highlights of the neighborhood. Pull the demographic data for the neighborhood. I'm trying to find an ideal buyer to market to. Tell me who would be likely to submit an offer. If I lived at this address, what would my lifestyle be? How are the school ratings? Identify cons of living in the neighborhood and identify objection handlers for those cons. Create a marketing plan for this listing and play the role as top marketer and listing agent, top listing agent. The goal is to generate as many offers as possible for this listing. Add a neighborhood farming plan specific to this listing. Then I said, here's the old MLS data. And additionally, I attached two documents, a CMA that another agent did because I was the second agent they interviewed. And I said, hey, let's throw that CMA in there, and a list of improvements from the seller that I already got. Now, again, the more info you give it, the better. I pasted all this information in. It almost looks like gibberish. It's straight out of the MLS, just bam, throw it in there, let it figure out what's what. The property had sold relatively recently. So this was the prompt that I gave it. And because I have my main chat window working on another task, I'm going to show you the output. Oh, okay. I'll tell you what, let me do it. I'm going to have it do it again. Let's go back to the chat window and see. Okay, chat is still working. Yeah, I thought I had the Dayflower information here pulled up. So you can see how long chat is still working. It'll even tell you how long it has been working. All right, let's change gears here. We'll come back to the Dayflower, the address research task. I'm going to just pull up what chat gave me as a rough draft. By the way, guys, you can hit stop down here and it'll pause. Going back to the chat where I did this earlier in the year. So it gave me a version and I wasn't happy with it. So I gave it more stuff. Here's the first version it gave. I didn't like all this white space. But guys, this is the first version that it gave. It thought for about 10 minutes and spit this out. I didn't like the formatting. I told it to change it to landscape format. Overall, not terrible, but kind of ugly, right? So then I said, let's revise it. Then I gave it a few more images. I said, let's try it again. And I told it all the revisions I wanted it to make. And it said, here you go. In 25 seconds, it did all the revisions. And here's what it came up with. Much cleaner, right? Now, I didn't love how these images were kind of in the margins, like on the lines here. But look at this. It even took, I told it how many reviews I had, and it worked that in on the About Me page. I did not edit any of this yet. This is still a version that I had to edit. I didn't like how this text ran behind the QR code. But look how it structured it. It took 3 graphs per page and gave me a little write-up. Then it took the next page and put 2 graphs and gave me a write-up. Guys, ChatGPT did all of this. Here's the luxury section. Here's the multifamily section. 2 pages. Then it gave me the conclusion and the forecast, just like I asked it. Notice it worked in some images, QR codes, my contact info. Now let's go back here. I said, okay, great, but I want an editable format. I asked for a Canva editable format, but it said, instead, how about if I give you a PowerPoint? It gave me a couple options, and I said, yes, give me the PowerPoint. And here's what it gave me. Okay, I'm having trouble opening this, but let me show you the finished product. So it gave me a PowerPoint that I edited, and here's the finished product. Oh, wrong one. That was my version. That was the first version that I did in 4.5 hours. So all I did in PowerPoint was I moved things around a little bit, cleaned it up, edited the text. I changed a few things, but in about 30 minutes, it put it together. And then I spent another 45 minutes editing. And this is my 10-year market study. Looks like it was put together by a professional graphic designer, doesn't it? And all I did for the research was give it graphs. And then I went to the final page. This is 7 pages. I went to the final page and I edited this. I wasn't happy with some of the verbiage. I cleaned it up really nicely. This is the type of project you can use ChatGPT for, everybody. It's not just for writing descriptions and emails. Treat it like an employee. Give it information, give it high-level projects. I also used it. So talk about the seller for a second. I did a search. I said, give me a disc profile. Let's find it real quick. Got it bogged down. I've got it doing too many stuff, too many things right now. There it is. Uh, Here's one I did right here. So I did a speaking engagement at Cleveland State, and I said I wanted to do a disc profile on this guy right here, Alan. He's a professor at case or at CSU. He was also in commercial property management. I gave chat nothing. I didn't find the websites. I didn't find his social media pages, nothing. I just said, here's his name. Here's what he currently does. Here's where he lives, because I knew he lived in Solon and he used to do commercial property management. Go find what you can. In 12 seconds, it verified all of this about Alan, where he works, some of his awards that he won at CSU, and then his likely disk profile based on what it could find online. And when I taught the class at CSU, Alan said this was spot on. It's funny, he gave it to his wife, and his wife couldn't believe. She said, you must have told him more. Nope. So imagine the advantage you could have going into an appointment, whether you're a real estate agent, going to a listing appointment, meeting a buyer, or in any sales job. If you're going on an interview, it's one of the things I said to the kids at CSU. Imagine you're going on an interview and you want to know more about the person who's interviewing you. Have it run a disc profile. And the more information you give it, the better. All right, guys, that is session 3, the high level uses for ChatGPT. Go back and rewatch them. This is such an amazing tool. And we haven't even gotten into agentic AI, where ChatGPT or Claude or any of the other AI tools are doing stuff for you while you're not even sitting in front of your computer. Did you know there's stuff that it can do while you're not even at your desk or on your phone? Hope you enjoyed this. If you have questions, you can hit me up. It's mike@21mike.com. And stay tuned. I'm going to go back to basics here for the next couple of weeks, do some scripts and dialogues for you guys. I know a lot of people are looking to generate business, uh, for sale by owner scripts, expired scripts. And so we're going to get back to some basics. But hopefully you enjoyed the Chat GPT stuff. Had a lot of requests for this. If you do have a topic that you want me to cover, just email me, mike@21mike.com. Thanks, everybody.